ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final concert for the middle school and high school orchestra program. We are very happy to have you all here this evening. A few things before we start. We would like to ask that you please refrain from walking in this section over here. It is being live streamed tonight, so if you want to let your family and relatives know that we are live streaming, or if you want to be able to show them, it will be live streamed on YouTube, so that they can go back and look at it and listen to it later if they would like to. So we're providing that so that more people can see what we're doing. Before we begin, we would like to ask first, please, to silence all cell phones on silence, preferably in our pockets where they're out of the way. Please refrain from any flash photography. It is very distracting to our performers on stage and to the director when the cameras are going off. We would also like to ask that during numbers, that people do not get up and walk back and forth during a number. It is very distracting to have somebody move back and forth, both for the performers and for you in the audience. We ask that if you have any small children that begin to get fussy, we invite you to please step out and wait for them to calm down before you come back in. Please do not step in during a number either. Please wait until the number is over before you come back in. This is again a courtesy to our performers. We are very excited to have you all here tonight. Up here on stage is our middle school groups, and tonight to conduct them and to talk about the middle school, I am proud to present my esteemed colleague, Mr. Alex Moore.
Good evening. The group you're about to see perform are beginners. They started back in August on their instruments, starting from the very, very basics with pizzicato on open strings, and they progressed to bows. And what you're going to see now is what they're going to transition to as they move into our upper level orchestras next year. This is the first concert that they're going to do completely on sheet music without playing out their book. So you're going to hear full ensemble music all the way through for this group, and this is a big step for them. So we hope you enjoy their first piece, Aztec Warrior. Before we play their second piece, I have about 3 groups of students in this group I need to recognize. The first, I want to recognize a group of students that a few weeks ago went down to Prescott to participate in our Soul Ensemble and the Northern Arizona Honor Orchestra. If you were part of that group, why don't you stand up, please? They had the opportunity to go work with a world-class conductor. He's taken groups to national and international music educator associations, and is a phenomenal music educator. For these students to have an opportunity to learn from him is priceless. The second group I want to recognize are 8th graders. We have students that decide to come into orchestra this year or can repeat, and it's a wonderful experience to learn your instrument, even if you started a little bit later than others. So I'd like to have all the 8th graders stand up and be recognized. So we have Chloe Rivers on cello, we have Kaylee Goodman on viola, and Gracie Charles on viola. Now, our second piece, our last piece for this group is called Medieval Kings. And it's meant to conjure up images of like medieval times and medieval courts and dances. So we hope you enjoy Medieval Kings. Give us just a moment as we move to our advanced string class. The group you see in front of you are our advanced strings. So these students who have been playing 2 to 3 years, mostly students are 8th grade and started before COVID was even a thing. Their education was interrupted, and then they battled through COVID last year and came back this year and made a lot of progress. We hope you enjoy our advanced strings. We're going to begin with a piece called Silhouettes. So if that sounds a little bit like Disney, Alan Lee Silva has actually written quite a few scores and compositions for Disney films. Now, this isn't associated with a Disney film per se, but it has that very Disney-esque feel to it. Our second song is called Lullaby to the Moon, and this is a gorgeous ballad, and as you listen, picture the moon reflecting off a still pond or a still lake. Now, before we finish off this final song, I want to recognize the eighth graders in this group. And that's the majority of this group. If you're an eighth grader, go ahead, stand on up. So over our first violins, we have Ryder and Daniel Sable. Go ahead, stand up. They also had solos in that very first selection on Silhouettes as well. In our second violin sections, we have Christian Pontevega, we have Quentin Drake, Ayana Merritt, Osland Begin, and Elias. Moving over to our viola section, we have Isabella Manning, Alexandria Aguero, and Gabriella Sosi. On bass, we have O'Neill Yazzie and go ahead and clap. O'Neill did something very special for us this year. He's primarily a violinist, but he saw that we were in need of bassists. And I said, hey, anyone interested in learning bass? He volunteered and has been playing bass for us this year, in addition to continuing to play violin on some things. And then on cello, we have Madison Case and Timothy Chitton. Now, a good chunk of these string students have been in orchestra since sixth grade, since before all this pandemic events hit us. So if you survived the pandemic since sixth grade in orchestra, go ahead and stand up. If you've been orchestra. I will tell you from having taught band during the pandemic that teaching strings over the pandemic online probably wasn't very easy if it was difficult to teach band. So I want to thank these students. And then finally, I want to thank all of the people that help make our programs run and our concerts and our schools run. The families, the aunts, the uncles, the grandma and grandpas, the brothers, the sisters, the moms, the dads, anyone that helps support these students in what they do. They would not be here without you. That could mean getting instruments, strings, could mean going and getting lessons, could mean driving to the middle school at 11 o'clock at night to pick students up from honor orchestra. There's a lot that goes into supporting these students. And so those families are super, super important. So students, give an applause to your families for supporting you. I also want to thank all the people in our schools that make our schools run and our programs run. This ranges from our custodians, our secretaries, our teachers, all the way up to our building administrators, all the people that help keep the CAB running and in good shape. Without those people, we would not be able to get this program to run the way it is. So I'd like to thank all the faculty and staff that work here at the district and middle school that help us out. And finally, I want to thank the students. And this is especially special for me, because this is my first group of string students, although I've taught band for 8 years. Coming in and teaching strings is a little intimidating. And both the beginning students that you saw before this group and the students on stage, they really made this such an enjoyable experience that I've loved teaching strings every single day, and they are the reason why. So I'd like to thank all the students that have made this possible. We're going to finish up our portion of the concert with a fun piece called Desert Sands. us just a few minutes as we transition to our next group. There are some eighth graders that were not on stage because both our softball teams and our baseball teams are in the playoffs over meeting on tonight. Last I heard, our softball was up 12-zip. Haven't heard our baseball scores. So I go, baseball won, awesome. I think Paige will be hosting that this weekend on Saturday. He was on the middle school Facebook page in those brackets. But yeah, in our violin section, we had Brayden Sutherland and Tanya Daniel as eighth graders. In our viola section, we had Cameron Sosi. So I also want to recognize those eighth graders. Even though they aren't able to be here tonight, they are still part of our program.
Mr. Moore, can you grab that violin on that chair?
Yes.
All right, chamber, the concert is set up. Thank you. Tonight, we would like to recognize our concert orchestra up here on stage. These students have worked very hard this year for everything that they have learned. I am particularly proud of this group. The last time the majority of these students played before this year was halfway through their 7th grade year. So that was a big gap to go from being in middle school and then having to play the material that is required at the high school level. So it's been quite the transition, and these students have risen to every challenge that I've thrown at them. And I couldn't be more proud, especially as this is mine and Mr. Moore's first year teaching orchestra. So tonight we have 3 pieces for you, the first of which is called Rhythms of Africa. The unique thing about this ensemble is our ensemble features 3 percussionists this year as part of that. And so it's a unique sound that we have for this ensemble. So for tonight, our first piece, Rhythms of Africa. Thank you. Our next piece we have for you comes from Korea, a very ancient folk song known as Arirang. And tonight it has been arranged for our concert orchestra with a solo in it tonight featuring Reese Talbot. So tonight we have for you Korean folk tune. Now I'd like to take a moment to recognize some students in the concert orchestra this year. I have 2 awards to give out for the concert orchestra. First is our Most Improved Award. This award goes to a student who, when they came into the concert orchestra this year, they had never played before, but they had a violin in their hands and they were determined. And in a class like this, sometimes comparatively, it's like putting an algebra student in a calculus class, and especially for a student to come in and learn out of nowhere. I did my best to help the student, but a lot of time was needed on their own to practice. And as a result, after just this year, this student has grown immensely. So it is my pleasure to award our Most Improved Award to Alyssa Fuller. Alyssa Fuller. Now, the next one is the Director's Choice. This is somebody that I believe has worked very hard this year to improve their craft, has been here every day, has come in for countless hours to practice after school and work on their music and really improve their ability. I'm very proud of this student. They will be in our chamber orchestra next year. Our Director's Choice for concert orchestra goes to Marlana Clark. Our last song of the night is, every year I like to do a pops concert and do pops music, and so our last piece for this group is one that all of you will recognize very quickly, and that is music from The Mandalorian. us just a moment while our students grab their instruments from the classroom, our large instruments like our cellos and basses, and we'll be ready for our final part of the concert in just a few moments. final group of the night is our Honors Chamber Orchestra. These students receive honors credit for being in this class, and they do have to audition to get in. So it is a rigorous process to make sure that the students that are going to be a part of this ensemble are ready for a high caliber of music. Tonight we are presenting our final three pieces, the first of which is all three of which you will recognize, the first of which is Pirates of the Caribbean. I've come to learn that string instruments can be very finicky at times. Thank you. Our next piece is another one that is well known, and it is in a bit of a celebration of another movie that was released this year. And so our next piece are themes from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. All right, and now comes the hardest part of the night for me every year. Every year, I get to say goodbye to our seniors, and it's never easy. We watch these students grow and learn. A lot of our seniors, this may be your first year with me as your orchestra teacher, but I've watched you all grow over the past 4 years and become the amazing musicians that you are. And many of you are off to college and hopefully pursuing music, as you all have amazing talent. So when I call your name, please stand up and be recognized, because unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but this will be your final number, and we want it to be special. We want to recognize you for all your amazing accomplishments and contributions to Page High School. Amaya Begay. And name's Kaya Dixon. Ariana Goldtooth. Savannah Joe. Serenity Lamone. Jaden Sakoti. Amari Smiley. Valentina Sosi. Rhea Whitepath. And Laureen Williams. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the music class of 2022. Congratulations on the graduation. I have a few other awards to give out, and then we will perform our final piece for you. Every year, I give out 2 awards, the top 2 awards for seniors in the ensembles that I teach. This year, the National Orchestra Award goes to the student that has displayed countless ability, loyalty to the program, amazing talent, and just outstanding musicianship. This student is one of our valedictorians for this year. She is also a recipient of the prestigious Flynn Scholarship. Our winner of the National Orchestra Award this year is Kaya Dixon. More a little bit so I don't crowd them. Next, we have the Marine Corps Musicianship Excellence Award. This award is given to a student that displays, again, loyalty, excellent musicianship, and incredible skill in everything that they do. This student has worked so hard this year, has barely ever missed class, and is always here ready to work and willing to improve their craft. This year, the United States Marine Corps Musicianship Excellence Award goes to Valentina Sosa. Our last 2 awards are for this ensemble. First, we have our Most Improved Award. This student was in concert orchestra the first half of the semester and had to move over because of a schedule conflict. I asked the student if they felt they could handle the honors coursework that they would be required to do in this class. They said yes, that they were up to the challenge, and after they arrived, they very quickly adjusted their skill and their ability and grew into an incredible musician to be a part of this ensemble. This year, our Most Improved Award goes to Emma Hoffman. And finally, our Director's Choice Award. This award goes to a student who, during auditions, placed second overall in our chair auditions. This student was very graceful, very gracious when I asked her to please sit first chair in our second violin section so that she could be a leader and help our second violins and first violins all be strong together. This student is an incredible musician, has worked for countless hours. This year, our Director's Choice Award goes to Olivia Bachman. It's always hard to make this decision because there are so many incredible musicians at this school. And so as we play our final piece tonight, I want to again thank all of our seniors for their dedicated work. I want to thank all of our students at Page High School and Page Middle School for their outstanding dedication to their craft. I want to thank our administration, both the middle school and the high school, for all that they do for us and support us for the arts. Thank you to the CAB staff for all of their hard work so that we can be in this wonderful facility. Thank you to our custodial and ground staff for keeping this place so well kept and manicured. And finally, I have one last thing. I would like all students to please stand up. All students in the audience and on stage, please stand up. All students, please stand up. Hold on. Hold your applause, please. Students, those of you in the audience, please turn around and face your parents. Parents, you have done so much for our students.
Hey, good evening, custodial staff, or anyone that's still working here.
Wow.
There is pizza and cake. Thank you.
Anyhow, parents, thank you for all that you do for our students. Thank you for driving them to rehearsals and to class every day, for paying for their expensive instruments, and for being there to support them through everything. Students, on the count of 3, I would like you all to please say thank you to your parents. 1, 2, 3. A little more spirit. 1, 2, 3. students, putting equipment away, clearing off the stage. So before you leave tonight, please come up and help. Parents, thank you for everything you do for our students. Have a great and safe trip home, and we will see you at graduation next week on Saturday. Thank you and have a good night.